How is it feeling so far? For those that haven't been here in the first session, like Kristen and Tracy, my name is Sahar Andrade, and I am the main trainer on the program. So welcome to the program. So how do we feel?
Great.
Are we learning new things?
Yes.
And I bet you today is gonna, like, I think today is epic. Today is what we call the business. Can you all see from me? Okay. Today is the business concept and your product. So we're really getting into the nitty-gritty of how to start a business. And what does it even mean to start a business? Do we know what a business concept is? What does it mean?
No.
Anyone want to try?
Would it be the way I do business, or the psychology in which I conduct business?
Part of it, I can see
think the
George.
word, if I can use it in a connotation, sense of the word, it is your vision. It's the idea that generates in your mind what you see when you see a store or starting in your home. I think the word business concept is all about the imagination.
That's part of it. That's part of it. And Tracy, you had something to say?
I was just going to say the strategy in which you develop your business.
That's that too. So how come we have one word and have so many definitions, right? Actually, a concept. It's a concept. Concept means the idea, the vision, the mission, the psychology, how we do business, who are our competition, who is our audience. It's the concept. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? How you're doing it? When are you doing it? Where are you doing it? I always say, remember the 5W and 1H? Do we know what are the 5W and 1H? It's the when, where, who, did I say where?
Yes.
You know, what and when. And the 1H is the how. So any questions or any idea that we are going through, business or no business, anything that we have, we need to always remember the W's and the H. Because without answering every single question of those, our idea, our concept, our project will never be complete. So these are the parameters that we always need to look at. This is what we mean by concept. So let's go through it. So a business concept is actually, like you said, it's the idea of the business that includes the very basic information. And I'm doing the business concept because it's the week after we did the business plan. So who worked with their business plan the last 2 weeks? You guys, all of you should have worked with it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well, I didn't see your hands up.
I mean, because maybe for me it's not complete. I'm
It
working
doesn't,
with it.
just
but-
work with it.
Okay.
Okay. JB, I believe, sent you homework, right?
Yes.
Do we all have it?
Yes.
You get it in front of you on the table. I want to see it. I help businesses grow through branding, marketing, and social media.
Okay.
And the concept, and basically what we're going to be doing together.
Okay.
Okay? So we're getting here in a group setting. At SBDC, I do it one-on-one. So I'm glad you do that. We're going to come to the homework during today's session. And do we know that today is a 3-hour session, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I want to make sure. So it's basically, like I said, the model, the service, how you offer the service, who are you offering it to, who your competition is, and I'm sure that you are getting more familiar with these terms since you have done already the business plan. So Tracy, a business plan is basically the spine of your business. So the business plan will take you from where you are today to where you want to be. And it will articulate who are you as a business. And there is something called executive summary that every business plan has. It's a lot of parts of it, but the most important part is the executive summary, where basically if you're going to get money, if you want to have a lender, when they read that paragraph or 2 paragraphs or 1 page of executive summary, they should get exactly why you should convince them to give you the money.
Is that different than a mission statement?
It's a different, it combines the mission statement, the vision statement, the concept, and everything. And that's why it's called summary. So you kind of summarize, and then the business plan goes into like different parts after that. It will have the marketing, the audience, which we are going to discuss in different sessions. But they have worked already two sessions of business plan.
Okay.
I'm going to get you the material next
Okay,
week so
sure.
you can have it. So it can be a business concept. You can be starting a new business, a startup, or it can be that you already have a business, but you are introducing a new product or a new service. Remember, as a business, you can never become complacent. It's not like you start up, you put it in the market, and I'm done. Okay? It doesn't work that way. As a business owner, you will start metamorphosing like a caterpillar, like that becomes a butterfly. And then it goes to a caterpillar again and becomes a butterfly. You have to always be innovative to be in par with your competition. I remember when I first started my business, I didn't know what to put on my business card. What title? What do I do? You know, I knew I know a lot of things, you know, but what do I do? Where do I start? And then my husband told me, you know what? Just start somewhere. It will come to you. And okay, coming from global marketing and event planning and international project management, my business card read global marketing and event planner. I don't do either now. Just to let you know, I kept working through it, you know, and asking, and we're going to talk about that today, asking people that know me, what do you think, you know, is working for me? And believe it or not, I got my answer at that time from a 29-year-old young lady that years later became the mayor of the city of West Hollywood at 32.
Wow.
You know, she became the president of NOW, which is the National Association of Women of West Hollywood. She's phenomenal. And through her, believe it or not, I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what I do. You know, so now I know what I do and I know where I want to go, but I did not start that way. Yes, sir.
To put it in sort of a simpler terms, when you start creating a business, it's like a baby.
Absolutely.
And it evolves, and that's what our expectation in this class. We are growing and evolving. So at this stage, would we be walking at stage 4, or are we still crawling?
You already crawled. You already have your crawling. So I don't want to see anybody crawling. Okay? I might see you falling sometimes and trying to hold on to something to start walking, but at least I want to see the effort of walking.
Got it.
You have been born, you crawled, now to the walking stage. Yes, sir.
I want to avoid the terrible twos.
Sorry? I didn't hear you.
Growing like a baby.
Terrible twos, he's being facetious.
Oh.
Avoid it. Avoid terrible
He
too.
wants to
Well, you know what? It's part of life. And we take the good, the bad, and the ugly, and we are
Okay.
grateful for all of them.
All right.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I know. and I'm just responding to the joke. So that's what we say. So don't beat yourself up because you don't know exactly where you are. It's like, oh my God, I have been already 4 weeks in this program and I don't even have a clear idea yet. Do not beat yourself up. I have been in business for 5 years. I'm starting a new program right now. And for the full last 8 months, I'm like, I start one, I'm like, no, that's not the one. I start another one because I have so many ideas in my brain. And then one day, I believe in intuition and I believe in manifestation. I believe in all that, right? So one day, before starting the program, the week before I started the program here, I knew I have the program. I went to bed and I kind of prayed, just show me, you know, what should I do? And believe it or not, entrepreneurship came in front of my eyes.
Wow.
So that's what I'm doing. Now based on whatever we're sharing here, I'm starting actually an online program for entrepreneurs. So thank you guys, you are my muse. So and also don't think that you are starting something is like, oh my God, I don't know where to go. Another thing, I started my podcast only 3 weeks ago. So my third podcast was a few days ago. So on my podcast is very, like, it's not formatted. It's just like I just speak about my experience from the heart. It's not like very regimen-like, you know. So I started and I'm like, you know what? And I was speaking about pitfalls of entrepreneurs. One of them is wanting perfection. So I'm talking about there is nothing called perfection. And I'm like, before starting my podcast, I kept asking myself, oh my God, what if no one listens to it? What if no one calls? This is only my third podcast. What's going to happen? Are people going to find it? That's imposter syndrome. We're going to talk about that. And then, you know what? I was on a screen. I went back to the screen of the studio that I'm doing the podcast, and I had a call waiting for me. If that is not an affirmation that I'm doing the right thing, what is? Right? I'm like, thank you. That's all I could say, right? So that's what I'm saying. Don't beat yourself up. Don't say, you know what, this is not where I have to be now. There is no, you are the only measure for you. One foot in front of the other. One step after the other. That's all you can do. Don't look at jumping. Okay? Take little risk. Maybe, you know what, okay, I'm comfortable now, you know, I crawled enough, I held enough to things that I can walk, maybe I can take a bigger step now. So take the little risks that you know at your beginning you can do. Okay? But don't beat yourself up. So how to build a business concept? Like I said, I help a lot of entrepreneurs, and when I ask them, what's your vision and mission, 95% of the answer that I get is, it's in my business plan. What is it doing in your business plan? Yes, you have to have it in your business plan, but it's your vision, it's your mission. So what is it? Or you just copied it from someone else. Or you paid someone to do it for you. It doesn't work that way. It's your business. It's your vision and your mission. So today, before we leave, each one of you is going to leave with their own vision and mission statement. So prepare yourself for that. So have an open mind through whatever we're going through, because this is what you're leaving with today. Okay? So the most important part in setting vision and mission, understanding that your product or your service is not about you. Okay, again, it's not about you. As small business owners, as entrepreneurs, we go heart in first, knowing that, oh my God, this is my product, this is how it's going to be, this is how it's going to be formulated, this is the most important part. I remember when I first started, one of my mentors told me blankly, guess what? No one cares about your product and service except you. And this is the truth that you're going to learn. You have to get into your customer state of mind. It's not about you, it's about them. You need to understand, like Robert said, psychology of how your customer is thinking. Who had done a research about their customers? Okay, 3 out of 20. 4 out of 20. 5 out of 20. Any more? You need to kind of
Thinking about it.
okay, you need to do it. There is no thinking. This is one thing that you don't think about that you need to do. Remember in the beginning I sent you a survey? Because at that you are my audience. I wanted to have an idea who you are, where you are. So I can kind of plan, you know, the program. And every session that I do, it's not already prepackaged. I don't do the session till we finish the session and I know the discussion and I know what is it that you need for the next session. So it's customized and tailor-made to you. So always remember that. It's about your customer. And let me tell you something. If you are a customer, how do you make your decision to buy a product or a service? What makes you pay money for something?
Want.
Need.
It's
In-
unique.
Want. Okay. What does that mean? Yes, Robert.
It addresses a pain or
It means something to you as a customer. It's a want. It's a need. And next session is the marketing, and the definition of marketing is changing the wants to needs. So you convince people to actually buy your product without really telling them, having a gun to their head, you have to buy. It's changing the wants to needs. So the customers, I want you to understand that all of us as human beings, as customers, when we think about a product or a service, we think about it emotionally. And when we think about it emotionally, we make up our decision emotionally, but we get the brain to find a logical reason why we do it. It's not the other way around. So always remember that. It starts by having emotional engagement with your customer. It's not, here, let me give that to you and you will have this. No, you have to connect emotionally with your customer. So we all make the decision emotionally, and then we find the logical explanation of why we do it and how we get it. And most of the people, they follow their heart and they're looking for results. Your product means zero if it doesn't show the customer what are the benefits of results of it. And we're going to talk a lot about this today. So when you sell results and benefits. You don't sell your products. And all people, that's why the failing rate of small businesses is very high, because people do not understand that. You sell results, you sell benefits, you sell actually the benefits of the benefits. So if I tell you you're selling water, give me a reason as your customer, why should I buy your water? Yes. I'm sorry?
Has electrolytes.
Has electrolytes. What does that mean?
I mean that the taste is better and that you get all these like
Tastes better, okay.
you get like all these extra minerals and magnesium and stuff like that.
You know how many people that sell water say that?
Mine is from the French Alps.
There is Evian, there is the other one, the one tropical, I can't remember the name. Fiji water?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would like to differentiate between the result and the value, because result could mean very, very different things to different customers.
No, but your product will have to focus on certain result that is very pinpointed.
No,
Yes.
not necessarily true. So especially in service area.
Okay.
The service area, the value proposition you bring in to different customer.
I'm not talking about value proposition.
Well, that's the result you're going to achieve.
A value proposition is not a result,
Well, that's the metric for the result.
but it's not the result. A value proposition is what are you offering unique to me, but that's not the result.
The value proposition to me is more than that. The value proposition to me is the added benefit you have based on your competition and the customer can gain for every dollar.
But that's still not the exact result that you want. Value proposition can help you get to the result. And I'm going to explain what I say right now. You had something to say, sir.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So for example, if you sell water, okay? What I'm going to say, selling water is for hydration, right?
Yeah.
But if this is my value proposition, is like I have electrolytes, it's from the French Alps. This is my value proposition. But the results that I'm giving you, if I'm selling, for example, for women, you're gonna lose weight, and your skin is gonna get clearer. That's what I mean by the difference between results. I'm just making that up. But just so you understand what's the difference between results and value proposition.
The outcome.
The outcome, thank you. That's what I mean by result. The result is the outcome. Value proposition is like what will make you listen to you that is different than other people. Value proposition is your unique selling proposition. When Volvo sells a car, it talks about safety, right? That's the value proposition. But what's the result? Your family is safer on the road. We see the difference?
Yeah.
Okay, and it might not be a big difference, but you need to start differentiating between both. And yes, it's a metric. I don't dispute that. But when we sell, our marketing message has to be very clear about the benefits or the results.
And it's often an emotional connection.
It's not
I love
often,
my
it's
boyfriend's
always
emotional
an emotional connection.
Yeah.
Marketing used to be based on what we call demographics before.
Yes.
Okay? It's no longer demographics only. It's psycho-demographic. Because if you do not, we live in an area or in an era that is so full of information that you lose, people have attention span like that, of like 30 seconds. If you don't grab that emotional engagement with them from the beginning, they go to the next person.
Yeah.
Resume, you know that resumes, changed totally these days. In the resume, you have to show, it's not about job titles, it's not about job description, because they know the job description they want. It's about what results did you get your previous employer. And that's what you need to show on the resume.
You do, that's true. Action, result.
Action, result. Yes. So your value proposition is that your education, your experience, whatever you did, but the results that you get, like I increase sales by 25%, I decrease expenses by 10%, that's what they need to see as results. Okay? So what did I do? Okay. So it's about customers are looking more about how your product or service is going to make them feel. So we need to be very clear about that. And like I said, you sell benefits of the benefits. Like, remember the Volvo, remember the water. It's about, yes, it's about hydration, but it's what beyond hydration is. So I want you to think that the result, do we know that our brain is actually formed of 3 parts? And we're going to keep talking about that. It's the physical part, the logical part, and the emotional part. And who do you think wins every single time between the 3 brains?
Emotional.
Emotional. So let's say this is the whole brain, okay? The part here is the first part of the brain since the caveman that has been created. Okay, so this is the emotional part. Okay, what we call in science amygdala, and then came here the physical part and the memories and all that. So that's what we call the second part of the brain. And then came the new brain for human beings that differentiate between us and the other mammals. This is the brain. So more or less the brain, that's how it looks, right? This part is the thinking part, the logical part. Okay, but what happens, it takes time to come into action because all our actions and emotions go here first, which is the emotional part. So it can be hijacked. This is where are the fight and flight response or freeze as cavemen we have, right? So we need to always, we're going to talk, Robert earlier talked about pain, and we're going to talk about that and how to include that in the results that we have. So in order for the stimulus in the brain to go from the back to the front, it has to go through so many pathways that sometimes the emotional part hijacks it.
Ain't that something?
And that's I'm trying to put it in very simple
It
terms.
makes sense though.
You know what I mean? And this is the only way. But there is a new science called neuroplasticity that actually shows us how the brain can actually bypass that. Like when we do a heart bypass, when you bypass that joint of a bad artery, neuroplasticity does that. And they say that now the neurons that fire together work together. Meaning the more you train your brain to think about a different way, the more it teaches the neurons, the more you... So you can teach yourself to think positive. It's not just as saying, you can teach yourself to do that. It has to do, I'm not going to go through neuroscience and habits and all that, but I just want you to know that you can do that. You can find your discipline, you can find your commitment, you can find your positiveness, everything through your own brain. Okay? So that being said, remember that when we talk about results, we need to talk about emotional, mental, physical, and how it's going to look in all that. So why is it important? Because emotions in a customer are not really tangible, right? An emotion is never tangible, it's intangible. But they don't think like that. So we need to understand that we need to put our tangible results in a way that matches its intangibles. And don't worry, we're going to have examples and we're going to go through that. So don't worry, you're not going to leave here before understanding every single part of it. Everything has to be concrete. So let me ask you this. If I'm selling diet products to lose weight, If I talk to you as a customer and I tell you it's going to increase your self-esteem, how do you feel about that? Will you buy it?
Yeah, everyone wants their self-esteem to increase.
But
Well,
is
that's the
it?
value judgment that you're trying to sell, and how do you know me?
And that's the result.
But if I tell you, thank you, I'm giving you a pill that makes you lose 20 pounds. Which one would you buy? Because it will get you your self-esteem.
Yeah.
That's the difference between concrete and abstract.
Okay,
You
define.
need-
Define what you just said. Concrete and
And abstract.
Yes.
Abstract is generic.
Okay.
And this is what most businesses do. You know, every business, you go to their website, they have carbon copy of every single one of them. And it's very generic. They think that when they put these glitzy words, people are getting attracted, but they don't. And that's abstract. If you don't talk to me, if I want to lose weight, I want to know how much, when, how. Yes, how I'm going to look further. So have before and after pictures for me. Tell me success stories and what it did to their self-esteem. You know, this is concrete. Concrete is like you lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks with this pill. How more concrete than that can you be? But the very abstract is that your self-esteem is going to grow. So you combine both. But you need to offer the concrete part. And we're going to go through examples of what abstract and what's concrete. And I know that this is part, believe it or not, that most programs of business growing do not talk about.
Yeah.
But this is the base. This is like the foundation of any business. And if we don't get that, I was lucky enough that I had great mentors, you know, in marketing. You know, I don't know if you know who Eben Pagan is. He's one of the geniuses in marketing, especially online marketing, and Brendan Burchard. I'm one of their students, so that's why I have been lucky to know that, and that's why when I built my business, it was built the right way.
And
Or
his
at
name
least I
is
knew how to direction.
Edmund who?
Eben, E-B-E-N, Pagan, P-A-G-A-N, and Brendan Burchard. There are a lot of people, by the way, that talk about, and I really encourage you to look at these people like Marie Forleo, you know, like Amy Portfield. All these people, you need to start really be serious about your business. So you need to spend time. You know, I spend a lot of time going through YouTube, looking at blogs, looking at articles, looking at webinars. The webinars are free online. Put yourself on mailing lists so you can get at least what you need to continuously educate yourself. If you become complacent, that means you're out of the market. Because someone else is not complacent and will get your target market. Okay? So it's about, that's what I meant by concrete and abstract. I know it can look confusing. It can look to people like it's the same thing. But it's not actually the same thing. Psychology-wise, and how people react and act is not the same thing. So take your time. You know, I'm here. I mean, thank you, FWDB, you know, for putting this program together for you just to really start on the right foot.